All right, so there's guys out there who overthink every little thing, right? And they go out in social situations and they feel like NPCs, right? And they're in this constant state of nervousness and they don't really know how to act and they want to be authentic and true to themselves, but they're not even sure how to do it, right? Whereas there's other guys out there who are authentic to themselves, true to themselves, and they seem to be winning in every aspect of life from social, dating, and so much more. I'm going to talk about the difference here specifically. I'll talk about why you care so much and how to stop it. This is something I struggle with greatly. The previous guy I mentioned was basically me to the T, right? And I'm not going to say I'm perfect now. I'm far from it. I still struggle with anxiety, still struggle with insecurities, but I'm in a much better place now than I used to be. And I'm going to share some of the things that have helped me out to get to that better place. I truly hope they'll help you out. And without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly I was walking up in class, right? This is back in like high school days. And I was about to give a presentation. So I have my piece of paper with me. And, I'm standing up about to give this presentation. And I'm literally rocking back and forth because of how anxious I'm feeling. I feel like I can't stand still. My head starts spinning. My breath gets really fast to where, I'm speaking a sentence and and then catching my breath right after because that's what happens to me at least when I get anxious. My breath patterns get all weird too. And my voice is stuttering and I can see all these people, obviously the classroom, and I feel judged, right? And this is how I'm feeling. And then when I finish that presentation, I go sit back in my seat and I think to myself, like, well, what the hell, why were you like this and all this? And I start beating myself up. This leads me to the first point, which is one of the ways I was able to stop this, stop caring so much, is by just allowing myself to fuck up, right? And changing the metric of success. Firstly, I really understood that I can't expect perfection of myself. It's just a ridiculous standard to put on yourself. No human being is perfect, right? Everyone is imperfect. But secondly, the metric of success had to change from rather than valuing approval more, I had to value expressing my authentic self more. This is something I'll touch on a little bit more in point two as well. Now, part of the issue here is these people who say, oh, if you're out in the social situation, you got to have this alpha body language, bro, and you got to do this thing and that thing. Then people think you're cool. And like, oh, take that thought, throw it way out the window. We don't listen to those people. They put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us whatsoever. Look, when I was following these trains of thought, right? I'd go out in social situations and I swear my brain would just short circuit. Because I was like, oh, what do I do now? I was like this and this blog post had to act like this and this. And I was like, holy shit. So again, it just short circuited my brain. And it gave me like this set way to act that I would always try to follow. And if I acted a certain way and people liked me, I would like always try to re-emulate it. Oh, well, what did I act like back then? I'm going to try to, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So again, the train of thought metric of success completely had to change. And one of the mindset that's helped me the most, I've shared it multiple times on this channel, I'll share it again, is understanding that whether people like me or whether people hate me is of little to no importance, equal importance, which is little to no importance. And the reason for that is people's perception of you is based so much on like their previous biases and preconceived notions and all that other stuff, right? So understanding that and truly understanding it really helped me out. And secondly, understanding that I'm not perfect. I'll go out. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be nervous. Sometimes I'll fuck up in one way or another. Like it is what it is. It is what it is. Understanding that, and then just understanding that there's no way around that. That will happen. But I have to continue to put myself out there because for a long time I became kind of shut in and closed off to the outside world because I was obviously deadly scared of rejection and all these things, right? And but deadly scared of going out and not coming off like totally confident and then obviously come home and beat myself up over it. So I kind of started becoming shut in. So I had to remind myself that A, it's okay to not be perfect. And B, to just go out and continue to express myself, and change that metric of success. And I'll touch on that a little bit in the second point. So the next thing I remember is I was hooking up with this girl, right? So we had like a long casual relationship going on and we're at her apartment and we're laying down together on her bed, right? And she's telling me all these things and all these opinions and all this. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of that actually went against the viewpoints that I held, at least some of the viewpoints that I held. But I never spoke up about it, and I never said like, oh no, actually I believe this or something like this. And the reason I never did was again because I was valuing approval over expressing my authentic self. I was afraid that if I expressed those viewpoints, maybe there'd be some conflict there. Maybe it could lead to an argument. Maybe, she'd end up not liking me. and you know, I'd lose that approval. This leads me to the second point, which again, at least my issue was that I was valuing approval more than being my authentic self. And part of the issue here is these people who say, "Oh, I go out and when I ask people out, I have like an 80% success rate, bro." And I know like this other very important person, bro. Like, no, take that thought, throw it way out the window. We don't listen to those people. They put a train of thought on us that doesn't serve us whatsoever. Look, if the metric of success is, you know, I know this many attractive people, or I attract this many attractive people, and I know like this important business person or whatever, then of course you're gonna be going out, and your concern isn't gonna be expressing your authentic self. Your concern is gonna be, how can I, you know, attract all these attractive people, as many of them as possible. How can I get this important business person or whatever to like me, as many of them as possible, so you can play like the social status game or whatever it is. And I'm not trying to judge you if you play that game. It's like we all want approval, right? At the end of the day, and we want approval from important people. That's human nature, right? I'd be lying if I said I didn't appreciate that as well. But I had to really understand that expressing my authentic self is more important than that, right? So the metric of success had to change in that instance. So just to summarize all that shit, and why at least I cared so much was, again, because I cared about approval more than expressing my authentic self, right? And in order for me to stop, I had to, A, understand I'm not perfect. I'll go out, you know, I'll make mistakes. I'll say dumb shit sometimes. Like, it just is what it is. I'm not perfect, right? And second, understanding people's perception of myself is, whether they love me or whether they hate me, is of equal importance, which is of little to no importance, right? What is most important is going out there, expressing my true self, doing things that I want to do. Because trust me, for a long time, I became shut in and not putting myself out self out there in social situations, not putting myself out there in dating situations. Again, I was closed off, and truly, that was a miserable existence. And I lived like that honestly for, goodness, like 4 or 5 years, and it was a miserable existence. It really was. And now I've started to overcome that, and I've realized that when I put myself out there, even if, you know, it doesn't go perfect or whatever, right? Almost always, if not always, I'm more proud of myself and happier for doing it compared to just staying back at home and doing nothing, right? So I really hope at the very least this video gave you something to think about, right? And I just want to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout the self-improvement process. Look, I started the self-improvement journey. The only reason I started it was because I wanted to improve my dating life. Like, that was it. I had an absolute garbage dating life. You know, I was never the cool kid all throughout elementary school, high school, college, right? So I was always trying to scratch that itch of like trying to, you know, obviously go out on a lot of dates, have an abundant dating life, or you know, go out party, do all those things that I never got to do, right? So I was always trying to scratch that itch, and that's what led me to, firstly, towards fitness, to try to get a good physique. Because before, right, again, I didn't have a good dating life, and I was like, okay, how can I improve this? I was like, okay, getting abs will help. So that's you know, what I started working towards, right? And similarly, that's what drew me to money as well. So then I started taking my career seriously and grew on that path as well, right? And throughout my whole journey, I was always fueled by like negativity and again, trying to get approval, right? And I would beat myself up over every little thing, all the time, right? All the time. Say I was supposed to study for like a certain amount of hours and I missed it a little bit or something like this. I started beating myself up, calling myself all sorts of names, like, oh, you can't even do this, you can't even do that, and just constantly caught in negative thought cycles. That was my life, right? That was my life. And I can honestly say, all that and negative thinking and all that, it hurt me a lot more than it helped me. Right? It hurt me a lot more than it helped me. So I'm not trying to say don't work hard. Keep on working hard. Keep on putting one foot in front of the other, showing up day in, day out, day in, day out. Right? Keep on putting in the hard work. Hard work always pays off, and this will be no exception. But also be kind to yourself throughout it. Understand you're not perfect. This is not going to be a perfect journey. Doesn't matter which journey you take. Doesn't matter which, you know, self-improvement path you take. Right? It'll never be a perfect journey. It'll be a rocky road. There'll be many times where you'll think to yourself like, "Oh, am I even doing the right thing?" All that. Like, no. Again, keep it pushing. Keep on working hard. Hard work pays off, and this will be no exception. Right now, I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine you take this advice, you run with it, and your dating life is improving day by day by day because now you're constantly putting yourself out there, right? Rejection doesn't phase you with every single rejection that you face. Obviously, it sucks, right? I'm not going to sit here and act like, oh, it's not painful or anything like this. Of course, it sucks. Of course, it sucks. But as you continue to put yourself out there slowly but surely, you become more and more resilient to it. And now you've put yourself out there so much. Now you have, people in your life who you're dating, who you're authentic with, who you go out with, and you can't wait to spend time with them, right? You have an abundant dating life, right? I just want you to imagine that maybe you've taken up something hard to do like boxing, right? That was a thing for me a lot for a long time. I wanted to take fighting. I wanted to have that side to me, but I never quite felt like the fighting type. So I'd always put off going to the boxing gym, and that was another way I was hesitating on putting myself out there. But now I've done that. I've even had a boxing fight, right? So imagine you've done that, and your confidence in yourself on that end is improving day by day by day. Where now, if you ever get into a conflict situation or whatever it may be, you stand there confidently, knowing you can take that on because you've already done it before, right? But most importantly, as you put yourself out there day by day by day, as you become more authentic and true to yourself, your confidence in yourself increases, right? Increases greatly. Now you're doing things you want to do, you're living life how you want to live, and you genuinely feel confident and happy with yourself, and your self esteem is increasing day by day by day. Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Hey, keep working hard. I believe in you, but what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be a positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok in the description, also somewhere here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe, just to be transparent with what I'm trying to do here. I've got a big passion for this YouTube stuff. Like right now, I have a job and it's cool, and it pays well, all that good stuff. But this is where I feel my real passion is at, right? So I love to take YouTube on full time, do YouTube in the morning, do my martial arts at night. That would be like my dream life, right? So please like, comment, subscribe, support. All that support will help me make my dream a reality. I'll talk to you later. Peace.